How's it going, guys? Shape here, and welcome to the channel. This video is going to go over 4 mounts that you should invest in now while the price is so cheap. I would recommend just simply buying these off the auction house since the price is so cheap right now, but I will also show you where to farm these mounts in case you so choose. The reason you will want to invest in these mounts is because right now there isn't much to do in the game, so many players are focusing on gold and mount farming to pass the time, and there are so many groups that are doing 2x4 farms always in Group Finder. Well, come Shadowlands, everyone will be focusing on leveling up their characters and not really worrying about these farms anymore. Even when everyone is leveled, there will be plenty of other farms and mounts to collect, so many players won't even bother going back and trying to get some of these. Some of these mounts are so rare that if you had enough of them, you could definitely control the market and get a high value for them. Everything I'm about to mention is going to be per server basis and is under the assumption that you have the capital to support buying all of these mounts. They are not going to give you an instant return, and you will take some time into Shadowlands before that will happen. This is definitely the investment strategy and the long-term play, so don't invest the gold you don't have. To start off this video, I wanted to first go over the mounts that are obtained in the open world. These specifically are going to be even harder once Shadowlands comes to obtain, and the price will most certainly go up. The first mount I'm going to go over is the mount obtained in Drustavar's 2x4 farm. The Chewed On Reins of the Terrified Pack Mule is one of the hardest BFA mounts to obtain because of its low drop chance. I have personally put a ton of hours into the farms for it, and I have only seen it drop a couple times. The current price on my auction house finally dipped under 100,000 gold and has been staying around that for the last few weeks. That is pretty crazy to think about because I have seen this mount sell for upwards of 500,000 gold or more. I believe this is one of the mounts that many players will not go back and farm because of the chances of it dropping is just so low. With that, if you buy it now for around 100k or whatever it is on your server and sell it of upwards of the higher end of what it sold for in the past, then that is going to be a huge return on investment. For those of you just looking to get the mount for yourself or not spend the gold for the mount now, then all you have to do is look up a group in Drustavar advertising for a 2x4 farm. There are tons of these happening all of the time for those poor souls that might not even see the mount. The farm is going to take place in this location in Drustavar, and like any of the other 2x4 farms, you will want to have 4 others in your group that are hyper spawning the mobs in the area. As I mentioned earlier, just save your time, buy a couple of these off the auction house and put them away in your bank for safekeeping. Once Shadowlands arrives, I would still give it some time before posting these on the auction house, but just pay attention to the market, and if you see the price skyrocket or not many others are available, then I would start posting them then. The next mount I'm going to go over is from another 2x4 farm, but this one is located in Stormsong Valley. The Golden Mane's Rain Mount is another one you will want to have a stockpile of going into Shadowlands. This mount isn't as rare as the first one we went over, but it was selling for over 500,000 gold as well when it first was announced. The price has dropped off a lot since then, and you will be able to scoop this one up for around 100,000 gold on most servers. This is one I would definitely get as many as you feel comfortable with because it is the highest sales rate out of any of the other BFA mounts currently. Just like the Chewed On Reins of the Terrified Pack Mule, I believe this could be quite a return on investment. The price actually dropped to under 50,000 gold on one of my servers for a few days, and that is when I pulled the trigger and I snagged a few. I was actually lucky enough to get a couple of these when doing some of the 2x4 farms, so I hope the luck continues for me in Shadowlands when I go to sell these bad boys then. The farming spot, as I mentioned, is in Stormsong Valley and it is located here. You shouldn't have too much trouble finding a group to do this either, as I see a ton of these in looking for group for the 2x4 Golden Mane farm. The last open world mount I would try to grab a few of while the price is low is yet another 2x4 farm. This time you're going to be targeting the Captured Dune Scavenger. Like the other 2 mounts we already talked about, this too once went for over 500,000 gold when it was first released. However, now it is probably one of the most obtainable ones out of the ones we've already covered, and you shouldn't have too much trouble getting a really good deal on it now. I have seen it for as low as 30,000 gold, with it averaging around 40 to 50,000 gold on most servers. I believe this one could be another huge investment opportunity, as you could probably end up selling it for at least a few 100,000, if not more, when players stop farming it. This farm takes place in Vol'dun and is located here if you wanted to try your luck and see if you could snag one, but like I said, the price is so cheap that you should just go buy a couple and store those away. I wanted to now switch gears and go over a mount that isn't from an open world farm. Expansion after expansion, this mount sees a huge increase in profit at the beginning of that expansion. I know I always talk about the Vial of the Sands mount, but this one's just too good to pass up right now. This is probably one of my more favorite farms to do, and I don't know if this is because I usually get a really good profit out of it, or it is because I want to use the recipe I spent way too much time trying to get in the first place. Either way, you want to have a good stockpile of this mount going into Shadowlands. Recently, this mount has dropped in price so low that players are barely charging over material cost. I stopped a while ago posting these on the auction house because I knew that they would be more valuable later on. Currently on my server you can get one for around 40,000 gold. I have even seen them go as low as 35,000 gold. If I see them go that low, I have been buying them up and either just flipping them or saving them in my bank. This mount is one of the cheapest 2-seater flying mounts that you can buy, and with a lot of players coming back at the beginning of the expansion, it is a huge gold maker. They will get their friends to fly them around since they most likely don't have flying in those other zones, or even once Shadowlands flying is released they will do the same thing. There are a few different things you will need for the Vial of the Sands mount, but they are easily farmable, and in case you want to stockpile up on the materials now instead of buying them outright. For all of the volatiles, here is a video of mine showing you where they all are if you guys want to check that out. In short, the volatile fires are best farmed in Mount Hyjal located here. You want to target the Flame Ascendants and just keep going around in that circle. They have a fast respawn timer, so you shouldn't run out of things to kill. For the volatile waters, you will want to go to the Twilight Highlands. The muddied water elementals located here will be the ones you want to target. Again, they are on a fast respawn timer, so just kill, kill, kill. For the Volatile Areas, just go and run the Vortex Pinnacle dungeon on normal up to the second boss. You can just jump off after killing it, and you will port back to the entrance to reset the instance. You will also need Volatile Life, but you will get enough of those from the herbs you will need anyway. The herbs you will need are Cinderbloom, Whiptail, and Ashara's Veil. The best place to farm Cinderbloom is in Mount Hyjal, and here is the best route. For Whiptail, you will want to head over to Oldham and follow this route. Ashara's Veil is probably one of the hardest ones to farm if you aren't a druid, but it can be farmed in Vashir. The best route to use is in the Abyssal Depths in my experience, since the Shimmering Expanse route is overused. Another item you will need is the Deepstone Oil, which is made from the albino cavefish. Grab your fishing poles and head over to Deepholm. Be on the lookout for the pools of albino cavefish that spawned in the lava. Here's a map of all the spawn locations for the pools. The final piece of the mount, besides the vendor materials, is the true gold bars. You will need aluminium bars and volatile earths to make the Pyrium bars, which are needed to create the true gold bars. Alchemists have a daily cooldown to transmute the Pyrium bars, or if you have a miner you can smelt Pyrium bars from the pyrite ore. The best place to farm the ore is going to be in the Twilight Highlands using this route. You also get a decent amount of aluminium ore, so you can get those bars as well. Now I know that sounded like a lot, and it is. You will take quite a bit of time farming all these out, so like I said at the very beginning, just buy these straight off the auction house if it is at a good price. A quick tip for you guys is a lot of players think that farming out all the materials instead of buying them is more profit in the end, but if it takes you longer to farm out the materials, then you could be losing some profits. If there is another gold farm you could do in a given hour, or however many hours it takes you to farm the materials, then you can just do that and buy the materials with the gold you made there, and then end up making more profit in the end. A last thought on these mounts, as I said in the beginning of the video, don't put these on the auction house right away. Give the market some time to thin out and then post your mounts. You want to make as much profit off of these as you can to really make it a good investment. Well, there you have it guys, what mounts I'm stockpiling for the release of Shadowlands. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed the video to show some love for the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.